morning, good afternoon, or good evening. It's nice to have you with us today. My name is Jeremy, and I'm joined as always by my top-notch buddy, Garrett Horn. How are you?
Oh, I was a little early there, wasn't I?
A little excited?
Yes, I'm excited to be back.
Yeah, I tell you what, we haven't done this in, I think, as long as the last time.
2
Last
weeks.
time we recorded. Maybe it's not quite that long yet, but we're back, and we apologize for the long break. My study schedule has just really kept me from being able to do much, so sorry about that. We're joined today by a very special guest. He's famous to you for his hilariously horrible or horribly hilarious jokes, and that's our good buddy Justin. How are you, sir?
Hello, folks. I'm fine. How are you?
I'm good. It's good to have you with us, buddy. Today
I'm
on the
glad
show,
to be here.
I bet you are.
Fantastic.
This is a very prestigious podcast to be on, you know. So,
I believe you.
yeah. We have like
That's why
50
I'm
listeners. Yeah.
It's our 10th.
Yeah, it is
That's
our
why
10th
this
episode.
one's prestigious. So congratulations on being on the 10th episode. How does it make you feel?
Oh, fantastic. I mean,
I bet
there's
it
no
does.
greater feeling.
And how many of you listen to?
I think 4.
Come on, Justin.
Hey, I'm honest.
Yeah?
Hey, we'll take the honesty, I
Could have
guess.
made you feel good and said 9, but I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
Well, thank you.
You're welcome.
Some people listen to 9. Maybe we should have them on. Kick you off.
That's right.
Well, that's your prerogative.
Hit the road, Jack. Today on the show,
My
we're
name's
going.
Justin.
Today on the show, we're going to be talking about some conspiracy theories that Justin's going to bring to the table for us, and we'll discuss those. And then we'll have the clash of the wits. Justin's going to present his joke in person this week, so that we can look forward to that. Probably.
Har har.
We're going to be talking about some pet peeves after that. We'll each bring a couple to the table and kind of discuss those. We'll have some listener questions, and then we'll give the best advice in the world. And I think that's quickly becoming a popular segment to the show. I know I'm enjoying it. But before we do that, I want to give a sincere thank you to everyone that has encouraged us in doing this. We're on our 10th episode, like we mentioned, and that's an accomplishment for me. When I was thinking about the outlook of the show before we started, I was really wanting to get about 6 episodes out in the summer, and really didn't know if we would continue it past the summer. And the school schedule's been tough, but we've been able to do more than 6 in the summer, and then now like we said, we're on our 10th. So we really appreciate that. All the encouragement y'all have given us, it really means a lot to me. It means a lot to Garrett, I'm sure.
Mm-hmm.
And the little kids coming up to us at church, that's been awesome, just telling us that they listen and submitting questions and liking us on Facebook. And we had somebody give us an iTunes review. We'll get to that later. So anyway, we really appreciate everything that y'all been doing for us. So yeah, without that out of the way, we're going to talk about some conspiracy theories. And Justin, you bring these to me all the time at church. We'll be talking afterwards, and you'll be like, "Do you think we really landed on the moon?" That kind of thing. And
Now,
so,
wait a minute. We got to clarify some things. First of
we
all,
have to clarify.
Well, we don't always talk about conspiracy theories. That's not the main conversation.
That's true. That's true.
And I do not hold to the theory that we did not land on the moon.
I hope that you
I
don't.
hope
Because
I just find it very entertaining.
yeah. Well, I mean, conspiracy theories can be very entertaining. I will grant you that. It's nice and entertaining to think outside the box.
Absolutely.
Think outside of how everyone wants you to think.
Yeah, that's why I'm drawn to them. Because, I mean, who knows what people come up with?
Yeah. Who
And so-
knows
I
what
mean,
really happened?
Yeah,
in
and
some
some
cases.
things sound pretty legit. So,
Yeah.
it kind of makes you wonder.
Yeah, we're going to talk about some that you've mentioned that were just, out of left field, bizarre type thing, and then we're also going to talk about some that maybe have some relevance to them. I find it hard to believe that everything is the way that it's projected through the media and everything. First of all, I know that's not the case.
Right.
And second of all, statistically speaking, with all the conspiracies out there, more than likely one of them's true at least. So, who knows? So anyway, what's the conspiracy theory?
Well,
you got
first of
for us?
all, you made a good point with, if you go to the news sites and things like that,
Oh yeah.
they're not feeding you the truth
Yeah.
every second or every minute. I mean, they have their own agenda.
Not even during the political season when the future of the country's at risk.
Oh, well, I'm sure they make exceptions for that time.
Right.
Any other time, they're not telling it straight.
Right.
No, that's probably the worst time, actually.
Oh, I can believe it.
What do you want first? Do you want the ones that are possibly believable, or you want
Let's
the
go
ones
with
that
the
are
bizarre.
way out there?
Go to the
with
bizarre
bizarre.
first.
Yeah.
Okay, well, a couple of those come to mind. One is that some of the top officials in the government are actually aliens.
Well, I've
From other
heard
I've
this.
heard that.
I've heard that they're like lizard people.
Yeah.
Yeah,
the
lizard
lizard-
people. Yeah, they're green, and people have taken pictures, and I'm sure they've done some editing to those pictures and
Right.
made them look like that. But yeah, the theory is that they are a race of aliens that have come and taken over, and they're intertwined with human beings, and they're living among us, so to speak.
Is this you confessing that you're a lizard person?
No, because if I was going to choose to be an alien, I would not be a lizard.
That's true.
I would be something completely different.
Yeah.
Now, why do the people believe that the aliens choose to disguise themselves as humans? I mean, why?
Because there's not many of them,
Uh-huh.
and so there is a supposedly there is a fear of human beings because there's so many,
So,
and since there's so few of them, they're not ready to quote unquote show themselves.
so they have the technology to make themselves look exactly like humans, but they don't have the technology to control the human race.
Apparently not. I didn't get that deep into it. It was a little far fetched, so I didn't read too much. Into
I'm
it.
gonna say I'm a little skeptical of that one.
Yeah.
I'm a little more than skeptical of that one.
Yeah, I would have to agree. I mean that's probably the most far fetched one I've heard.
Right. What's another one?
Another one would probably be the Denver, Colorado airport.
That is fascinating stuff. I will give
What
it.
is that one?
Now
I don't know
I'll
much
grant
about
it. I'll grant it to you that this one is a little more. I won't say a little more believable, but I mean you could see some things in it that might be possible.
Right.
The theory goes is that there's a huge underground bunker underneath the Denver airport.
I've heard that.
And what happened was several years ago, they had a perfectly fine working, modern day airport, and then they decided to bulldoze it over, shut it down completely, and build a new one.
Okay.
The weird things about that's not in itself strange, but the weird thing about it is there was a private person that funded the rebuilding of it, and it took years to complete. Now the question is, why did they tear down a perfectly good airport to rebuild another airport? That they had one that was working fine.
Right.
Why are they going to build a new one?
Mold.
Well, maybe that wasn't in there, but it could be. One of the other things is that there's some sort of monument out front that said, and I don't remember the acronym, but there was some letters or something, some kind of federation,
Right.
association, something like that. It was mounted outside the airport, and people got to looking into it, and that foundation or whatever it is doesn't even exist. So there's that question. The other thing about that is that the underground bunker is supposed to be for the elites of the
Right.
United States.
I've heard that.
And supposedly one of the things that was brought up was that when there was some sort of threat to the United States, President Obama was immediately taken to the Denver airport, and he happened to be there for a certain amount of time.
Now,
There's also some weird, like statues and things inside,
Yeah.
like and almost satanic statues. I mean,
Right.
they're really, really weird looking.
yeah, I've seen a picture of a dove, like being killed or something. I can't remember. All I can remember is that there was a dove there being, symbolically, the dove is peace.
Yeah.
And so that being destroyed. I don't remember the tactic in which that was used, but it's like a mural in the airport.
Right.
And back to the president being taken to this bunker, would it have anything to do, if this were the case, would it have anything to do with the mountains that are in Colorado, the Rocky Mountains, being any sort of protection? Is that...
It could be. I mean, the bunker was privately funded.
Okay.
Like I said earlier, the thing is, it's not publicly known who funded it, but it was privately funded.
Okay.
Now those things are facts.
Right.
So, you've got to figure out what's going to be facts and what's going to be fiction, because
Right.
People have taken this and just
Run with it.
Yeah, they've run with it, and so you have to distinguish what's fact and what's fiction. It's another fact that federation or association, whatever it was that we mentioned earlier, doesn't exist. I mean,
Yeah.
you can Google it and find it,
Maybe it was a
or
typo.
not find it. Excuse me. Typo in stone.
Yeah, that's right.
They cut the wrong letter.
That's right. It was supposed to be FEMA, and it's FINA.
Yeah, something like that. But anyway, either way, the theory has been sort of debunked time and time again because
really?
they've had some folks go in and supposedly spec it over. But the thing is with that is it's going to be officials that are working for the government, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So
They find what they want to find.
sure, yeah. So who knows? And personally, I've never been to the Denver airport. So
I haven't either.
Somebody listening on the podcast may have been there and said, "Well, that don't sound anything like it." Again, this is just a theory. So
Right.
It sounds believable and plausible, but I mean,
Yeah, it's hard to tell. Personally, I believe Santa Claus lives down there.
yeah,
You can ridicule me if you want to, but that's what I believe.
he
So.
shares a room with the Easter Bunny.
I
That's
thought he
right.
lived at the North Pole.
Well, that's what they want you to believe, so you can't find him.
Oh.
Yeah.
I
Anyway.
knew the Denver airport. Never would have thought it.
That's right. You see? Makes sense, right? All right, what's another one?
Well, so one of the ones that's not so far fetched is you ever heard of chemtrails?
Yes, I have.
All right, so that's one of the ones that personally I think is real.
Really?
Yeah, I really do. Chemtrails, if you look up in the sky and you see a jet flying, it
Right.
leaves a trail behind it, a tail, and it's a solid white tail.
Right.
Well, if you watch it, that tail disappears after a few minutes.
Right.
Chemtrail is where you see a jet flying and there's that same white tail behind it, but yet it doesn't disappear. Instead, it expands and floats out, and it ends up looking like clouds.
Okay.
The thing is with that is there are chemicals in those, and they spray for the atmosphere and
Right.
the environment, is what they say. But there are chemicals inside of that spray that are harmful to the human body.
Okay.
And they've done some testing, and they found that the levels of that toxin are so much so that they in fact do harm, or can be harmful to human beings.
Okay.
Now I don't know exactly what the problems are that it causes,
Right.
but one of the things one of the things listed in there is biotin, Biotin, I think is how it's spelled, and it can cause problems with your respiratory system and things like that.
I think biotin's. I think that they use that in some hair products, though.
Maybe,
I
Well,
don't
and
believe
that's
true.
that's where the theory gets skewed a little bit, because people say, "Oh, well, there's not enough in there. There's not enough
Right.
levels of it to be harmful." But actually, they've gone and done the test and said, "Actually, this is enough to be harmful to human beings." So,
Right. Well, what I would respond to that is, like, there's a lot of that going out, and if you want to, light a internet wildfire, just go on and start searching and commenting chemtrails. I mean, it's all over the place.
Yeah.
I turned on the Rick and Bubba show one morning going to school or work or something like that, and they were talking about it on there with a listener. So, I mean, people have looked into this kind of thing. Where I draw the line is if that is the case, which I would not be surprised if, we do spray that some sort of chemicals or whatever out in the atmosphere. There are crop dusters that go over and they spray chemicals, and at least my family, we seem to draw a correlation between the cotton spray that they spray on the cotton fields and it causing us allergies. So, that kind of thing's believable. But where I draw the line is where people, talk about where this is a government conspiracy to get all these people sick and to limit the population and to give us all cancer and that kind of thing. I mean, is that plausible? I guess it's plausible. But it just seems so far-fetched that it seems unrealistic that we would go to that extreme. Maybe I have too much faith in society and in government, but who knows?
Well, anytime you're dealing with a conspiracy like that, where the government's intentionally killing people,
Right.
it's really hard to cover something like that up because people in the government have families too.
Right.
So I've heard the similar one where basically the government's withholding a cure for cancer because they don't want it to be cured because it's population control. Well, you're telling me that all those people that have family members that are affected with cancer are withholding, are allowing that to be withheld. I don't buy that. So
I don't buy that either.
So, but yeah, I could see the chemtrails being true. I would question what are the environmental benefits of the chemicals? What are they protecting?
That's what I was wondering.
Some of it's supposed to be part of protecting the ozone layer.
Yeah, I figured.
Which and all that goes back to this whole idea of global warming.
Right.
Quite frankly, is a hoax, and I don't believe in that one bit.
I don't either.
But a lot of that goes back to global warming, and so people say, "Oh, global warming, we got to do something about it." And so
let's spray biotin.
Yeah, let's spray harmful chemicals in the atmosphere and see what happens.
Yeah.
So,
do you have any other ones that you want to bring to the table?
I don't know of any others right off that I seriously believe or put any faith in.
Right.
Grassy knoll.
Huh?
The grassy knoll.
Well, yeah, maybe. I don't know. Well, one of the others is JFK assassination.
That's some interesting stuff.
Yeah, if you really do some research on that, you can find out a lot of information.
Right.
And I mean, there is a ton of information out there on that, and so I mean, yeah, I think it's plausible. I think there's some things to it, but I don't know. Who knows?
Yeah, I don't think the grassy knoll part is necessarily true that there was a shooter on the knoll, but I do believe that there was a lot more to it than just that guy shot him in that building. I mean, I think the mafia was likely involved. There's a lot of moving parts to that, so
very well could be.
I'll tell you what, there's a ton of them out there. We haven't mentioned any Area 51. That stuff interests me. I mean, just the secrets behind it, that kind of stuff really grabs my attention. There was a Netflix series that I watched for a while. It was called America: The Book of Secrets, and it was some of this type of stuff where they talked about Bigfoot and all this kind of stuff. So it's interesting stuff, but the majority of it, like we've talked about, if not all of it, it's just false. It's just to get people all riled up.
Bigfoot's an interesting one to me because it wouldn't surprise me if there's some kind of animal that certain people are seeing. I mean, some of the stories seem pretty plausible and believable. Area 51 is pretty far-fetched, but I will say I was weirded out. I don't believe in aliens at all, but I was weirded out when, like, on his deathbed, I read that a NASA engineer actually said that there were aliens there.
Right.
And it wasn't like one of these Facebook, like, you'll never believe. It was a true story. Like, he confessed to it. So whatever his reason was, I don't believe it, but
his mind was going.
It was like weird to me,
Or you just want to play a joke.
Sometimes you just like to be weirded out.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he's laughing in his grave.
That's right.
I told those there's aliens.
It's interesting stuff, nonetheless.
Well, go back to the Bigfoot theory real quick. It's not Bigfoot, and it's not Sasquatch.
It's Santa?
No, it's a Wookiee. It's Chewbacca.
Oh,
come on,
aliens!
I'll get it right.
So it is. There are aliens.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
why not?
I see. Yeah, that's all right. That's all right. No, like there's some ridiculous Bigfoot stories, but so the Loch Ness monster, that type of theory is much more believable to me because we don't know that much about the ocean and the seas. I really like that theory, and it just grabs my attention. Yeah.
Just
something about it, dude.
Yeah, I don't know what
I think the Loch Ness monster has been disproven.
It has. That's what I've heard as well.
Swamp gas.
But I just mean like the idea of there being some creature, maybe not of that magnitude, but something out there that we've never seen or discovered before. I mean, statistically speaking, at least, we can't even go to the depths of the ocean.
Sure. Who's to say there's not something at the bottom depths of the ocean that we haven't discovered?
A few years ago, I remember something like
you got really Santa on the... You're really on the Santa cake. What's the deal?
Jeremy, I'm claustrophobic, man. Please stop bringing up Santa. That was a funny joke.
That is terrible. Dude, you think my jokes are bad? That is horrible.
Somebody's going to find that funny out there.
Not I. Steven's joke for this week. The other day, my wife told me that I'm so immature. I was speechless mainly because it's hard to speak when you have 34 gummy bears in your mouth. It's just so funny. Could you imagine Steven with 34 gummy bears?
That was pretty good.
I thought that was funny.
I don't like it.
I bet you don't.
Sure you don't.
I bet you don't. Y'all are tied right now.
I think it's great.
But if you win this week, you take it.
Come on, Steven. You got to do better than that, buddy.
3-2 lead.
3-2 lead.
All right. So, what's your joke, sir?
Oh, do I only get one?
You get one.
Oh, wow. So, a Mexican magician tells the audience that he will disappear on the count of 3. Right?
Okay.
So, he says...
I thought that was a joke. I was like, I don't get it.
Not yet. So, a Mexican magician, he tells the audience he's going to disappear on the count of 3. He says, 1, 2, poof! He disappeared without a trace.
Oh man!
Come on, guys.
That was
Come on.
funny.
Oh, that's funny.
That's good.
That is good. But I kind of like gummy bears. So.
That was
What? That doesn't even make sense.
I
That's
know.
not a good punchline.
All right, well, we'll make a decision here by the
We
end of the
might have to
episode.
tie that one because I don't know.
I don't know.
Well, we need to take a vote right here and now.
I
vote for mine.
Boy, that's gonna be. We would both have to go. We got Joshua, but we would both have to go Justin in order to beat that.
Yeah.
And I see what you did.
Yeah, I see what you did there.
Yeah.
I don't know. Let's see. I guess the better overall joke is probably Justin's, just because it has a real punchline. But something about that.
Stevens was funny. It's
Something
hard to
about
tell
Stevens.
this week.
It might would have been funnier if I had said it was a Mexican accent.
Can you say it again with the Mexican accent?
Maybe.
I would like to hear this.
I don't think I have a very good Mexican accent.
Well,
Who cares?
I can try it. I can try it and make a fool of myself.
We're a small podcast.
I guess so. A Mexican magician tells the audience. That's terrible. Mexican
No,
accent.
keep going.
Wow.
You're about to win. Keep going.
You disappear on the count of 3. He says, uno, dos, poof. He disappeared without a trace.
Okay, Mexican
You win.
accent takes it.
You're up 3-2. Sorry, Steven.
I thought it was 4-2.
Is it 4-2?
Yeah, I think so.
May have to go back and check that. I was thinking it was 4-2.
I'm fine with 4-2.
3-2, but we'll check and we will update the score.
We got to give Steven a chance to respond. Like, come on the show and tell a joke or something.
Yeah, we
because
should.
That gave Justin the edge.
That was really funny. You have a good Mexican accent. I think.
Well,
Uno, dos, poof.
without a trace.
Without a trace. That's good. Okay, so now in talking about the podcast, Justin, you've mentioned these things that annoy you, and that you would like to talk about them. So go ahead and bring us one of your pet peeves, as it were, and then we'll kind of go around and mention some.
My pet peeves? Okay, well, the problem is most of my pet peeves have to do with driving. All right, I'm just an impatient driver.
That's not good, sir.
Well, I know, and I don't go. I mean, I don't have road rage or anything like that. I just get impatient.
Okay.
So one of the main things that just drives me nuts is, so let's say I'm getting off the interstate, I'm going up the ramp, and I'm going to turn right.
Okay.
You
Getting
follow-
off the interstate.
Right. I'm
Gotcha.
getting off the interstate. I'm going up the ramp to turn right.
To turn right.
Okay. And I have a lane. I have a yield sign, and I have a lane that I'm turning into. Right.
This is very specific.
Well, I'm sorry, but this just drives me nuts. So I'm turning right, and I have a lane that I can keep going in, and I can merge over into the oncoming traffic.
You have I follow. You're not going into an oncoming lane. You have your own lane.
Correct. So what drives me nuts is when someone is going and they're going up that ramp and they're ready to turn right, and they see the yield sign and they stop. And yet they have an entire lane that they can keep going and they can merge. And so what do I do? I
Honk.
Yeah, no, I do not honk, because Aaron says if I honk, I'll get shot. So
It's possible, I suppose.
it is possible, but no, I instead yell at their bumper.
Yell at their bumper.
Yeah, I'll say, "What are you doing? You got a whole lane. Go on."
Inside the car, or will you?
I'm yelling inside the car.
But you're not opening the window for him to hear.
No.
Oh yeah, well we all yell at drivers.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I'll be driving somewhere, I'm like, sir. I'll do that sometimes.
I try not to point or anything.
I'll honk. I'm not
Sometimes I do hand signals like, what are you doing? I'll put my hands up like, hello. You've got a whole lane there. So.
Yeah. All right. Well, that was extremely specific, but driving is very difficult when the people don't pay attention to what they're doing. I would like to believe that most people do know how to drive, but they don't pay enough attention. I know that that's not the case, but that's what I like to believe.
Well, the other thing that really just really puts the icing on my cake is when I'm driving through a parking lot. All right, so let's say Publix, for example, and I turn down to go, but this don't happen at Publix very often, so that's a bad example. Let's say Walmart.
Okay.
I rarely go to Walmart, but
There are
it never
bad drivers
fails. It always happens there. No, these people aren't driving.
Oh.
I'm the one driving, and I'm turning to find a parking spot.
Okay.
And these people are in the middle of the the road or the
lane.
Yeah, what do you call that?
I don't know.
The area where you're trying to drive through and find a parking spot.
Okay.
They are in the middle, and they're just walking, and they're looking around up at the sky, and they're thinking, "Oh, what a lovely day!" And I'm sitting there doing 2 miles an hour behind them, saying, "Get out of the way!
Yeah.
Walk over to the side, not in the middle." And the thing is there's no parking places up front, and so they have parked all the way at the end, and so they take their sweet time all the way down.
Yeah.
Till they get to their 50th parking spot.
Yeah.
And finally get in their car.
That is aggravating. It raises a question in my mind. Inside Walmart, maybe not in Athens because it's a smaller town, but a lot of people do go to that Walmart. But maybe in a more major city, I feel like we should have a system, a route that you have to take throughout Walmart. And there's like a fast route, like I don't need this section, I'm just going in the aisle, but maybe you're on the right side of the aisle. And if you're coming out, you come on the left. I just feel like we would be more efficient if we were more structured, not going, you go ahead, no, you go ahead. Or you do that little awkward step to both sides thing where you're trying to get around the person, you're both going to the same side, and it's like, somebody stop.
You end up saying, "May I have this dance?" and twirl around a couple
That's right. That's right. Anyway, it's just something that I thought of as a kid, and I still believe in. So I think that it would be difficult.
There are some Walmarts that have lanes.
Do they?
No kidding. Yeah. They paint lines down the middle of the lanes. Yeah.
It's smart.
You take your buggy down the right side.
What aggravates me is even
or the left if you're in Britain.
In the aisles. That's the word we're thinking of. Aisle,
yes.
But in the aisles inside the store, when people just leave their cart in the center of the aisle, you can't get on either side very well. And, they're standing on one side looking at beans. It's like, I want to get through. Can I please get through? And they're like, oh, I'm sorry. And they move their cart just enough to still be in your way. And there's like a light post. Anyway, Walmart aggravates me.
That's on my list of pet peeves, too.
I don't like
the light pole.
No, just people standing on one side of the aisle and they park their buggy on the other.
Yeah,
I don't do any grocery shopping at Walmart. If I go grocery shopping, I
quit going to Walmart.
I like going to Walmart and looking at the non-grocery stuff.
Yeah.
But
if I need some tire cleaner or something.
Yeah, Dio for the BO.
Yeah,
it's cheaper there than Publix.
That's true.
Publix a little
unless
expensive.
you find a BOGO.
I wouldn't get
a
one.
Dio for your BO with a BOGO.
No, you get a BOGO for the DO.
For your BO?
Yeah.
Whew. All right, what's one of your pet peeves, Garrett?
Passive aggressive people.
Care to expound?
Well, those people who they're kind of, they seem bubbly all the time, which is not a bad trait. Which is not a bad trait for someone to have. I mean, it's good to be always positive. I try to maintain an always positive. But they're the people that you can tell things get on their nerves, but they never will come out and say it.
Right.
So they're like, oh, I've had such a great day in a sarcastic way with all this stuff happening. And it's like directed at you. Like, passive aggressive people. People at work, people in life, just drives me crazy.
I can be passive aggressive. I don't know if you've noticed that, but I try not to be. But
everybody is passive aggressive sometimes. But it's the people that are passive aggressive on a consistent basis. I just don't like talking to them.
Yeah.
I mean, I just don't. But Justin's pretty passive aggressive. That's why I don't like talking to him.
So you want people to be honest?
Yes.
You're on my nerves.
I'm on your nerves.
Yeah.
What'd he do?
He's Garrett. I don't know.
He's Garrett.
You're not really passive aggressive. You're pretty honest.
I am.
I like that about Justin. He's
really aggressive.
Yeah, he can be kind of
very
aggressive.
passive.
Yeah,
I would rather you be aggressive. I'd rather you say you are getting on my nerves rather than just like,
Right.
I can't even pretend to be passive aggressive because I don't know what to say, but because I'm pretty aggressive if I'm annoyed.
You see, I'm the opposite of y'all too. I can't stand confrontation. I can't say that word ever either. Confrontation. There we go. So like I want to kind of go into a shell. So I'm kind of passive aggressive. They don't need to know that I'm irritated with them or whatever. I'd rather be irritated by myself than bring it up and have some big thing. But that gets me into trouble.
Well, if I'm irritated with them, I'm not necessarily like mean to them, but I'm not like fake happy with them either. I'm just pretty neutral.
Uh-huh.
But
yeah.
whatever.
It is an annoyance. It's not a very good way to be.
Yeah, it's not the
just be honest with people. So it's the best I have to say.
Don't have road rage like Justin does.
My pet peeve.
Didn't have road rage.
My pet peeve is I have a few of them, but the one I'll bring to the table is when people say picture instead of picture. That drives me nuts.
What about sandwich? I hate that one.
I don't hear sandwich that much.
I hate sandwich.
I do it as a joke.
It's sandwich.
Give me a sandwich.
No, it's sandwich.
I'll take a sandwich.
Stop.
Stop.
Not passive aggressive.
Did you bring sandwiches?
Huh?
Did you bring sandwiches?
I don't know what that is.
Sandwiches. You know, bread, meat, cheese.
Sandwiches.
Sandwiches.
No.
We like went on a tangent. No, we went from pictures to sandwiches.
I know a lady that says picture.
That's pretty rough.
Yeah.
But it's so aggravating. It's like, hey, let's take a picture. Take a picture.
Picture of tea?
Yeah. Where do you want to take that? You want to give it to the homeless? What do you want to do? It's a picture.
They're going to hang it on a refrigerator.
Yeah.
Picture of tea.
Yeah, hang a picture of tea on your refrigerator. No magnet is strong enough for that. Well, I'm sure there is. But anyway, that's one of mine. But, all humans have pet peeves, things that we have to deal with. But I think it's important for those that have the pet peeves to, try to contain those. Realize that some people don't even notice that they're doing something annoying. Usually don't. Usually don't even realize the difference between
except
a picture and
passive aggressive people.
Sometimes people don't know if they're being passive aggressive. So
hey, that's enough of that. I'm just brutally honest.
Okay.
Getting on my nerves. Dude.
Getting on my nerves.
I'd rather you say that than be fake.
There you go. Coke or Pepsi? That's Matthew's question for us today. Coke or Pepsi?
Pepsi.
Coke.
I would say Pepsi.
Coke.
Pepsi's sweeter.
Come on, guys. Coke. You got to be kidding me.
Most people like Coke. I feel like if we were to ask 100 people, the majority would definitely say Coke. Josh was saying Coke. But some about Pepsi. I love Burrito Express, the best Mexican place in Athens. You can fight me on that, and I won't back down. But
it's not better than Los Trojos. Los Trojas.
I actually haven't been to Los Trojos, but
Taco Bell. That's just kidding.
No.
Fourth meal, come on.
No, but we go to Burrito Express a lot on Sunday afternoons, and I love to get Pepsi. There's something about it. Just really good.
Pepsi leaves a bad taste in your mouth.
Nah, I disagree.
That's a conspiracy theory.
Oh, boy.
Full circle. No. Galaxy Explosion 1451 on SoundCloud. We know who that is. That is... I don't know if she wants us to say on the program, so maybe we won't. But she asked if you could have any kind of candy in the world, what would it be, Garrett? What would it be?
Ooh. I love Kit Kat bars.
Kit Kat.
Yeah.
What about you, Justin?
Chocolate covered coffee beans.
Oh.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. You wired too.
We've talked about this before. I love fruit flavored stuff, so mine would probably be something like Lifesaver gummies or jelly beans.
They all sound so good.
Jelly beans would be.
It depends on the type of jelly bean.
You're hungry, aren't you?
Yes. Joshua forgot to bring the food.
Go give me a sandwich.
I don't know what that is.
I don't know what that is. He's getting mildly annoyed. Bradley S. Collins on Twitter, he asked, if you could be the moon, what kind of cheese would you be made out of? And I would be made out of I think this is how you pronounce it, Pule, which is the most expensive cheese in the world because I'm extravagant. What about you?
Cheddar, I guess.
Cheddar?
I like cheddar the best. It tastes good.
I actually like Swiss and provolone would probably be my go-to cheeses, but I'm not a big cheese fan, really.
I like to melt cheese on a plate and eat it.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. That's a little gross.
Weird.
Why is that weird?
I'm going for gorgonzola.
Gorgonzola?
Oh, yeah.
Ooh, that is stanky cheese.
Well, that's all right.
Keeps the
I don't know
aliens
if I've ever
away.
had that.
I don't think I've had gorgonzola either, but it's a great word.
You need to get it in the block. That's why I like it, because of the word.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right.
I mean, have you bought a block of gorgonzola and eaten it?
No, but I'd like to.
Okay.
Really?
Yeah, let me get
Let's
a
make
shout
that
out to
happen.
Brad to buy me a block of gorgonzola cheese.
Bradley S. Collins.
Yes, Bradley S. Collins.
He wants a block of gorgonzola.
Yeah.
There you go. Gable Duke asked, as always, thank you, Gable. But he asked, what is your favorite part about fall? And I know Garrett's going to say football. I'll probably say football, but let's just take football out of the equation. What would be the second favorite thing about fall?
I think just the atmosphere. It kind of gets it gets cooler. The leaves start changing.
People seem less cranky.
Yeah, people are in a better mood. I don't know.
Nobody's hot anymore.
Yeah.
Especially here in the South.
Yeah.
It was like,
I'm cranky when I'm hot.
It was like 90 degrees last week, so can't really say that.
yeah.
But,
Well, it's cooling down at least. Probably my favorite thing is it's probably Thanksgiving, the family atmosphere, the food. I also like I really like Athens in the fall. You know, we got the Fiddlers Convention, which I just went to last weekend, and Garrett went with us as well. And I also love the Storytelling Festival, which I don't know if I'm going to get to go to this year. I don't think I am, but it's one of my favorite things ever. So, what about you, Justin? Favorite thing about fall?
I just love fall colors. I mean,
It's prettiest.
Not just the leaves, but just in general, fall colors are beautiful colors, and they work well together.
They are.
And of course, like Garrett mentioned, the weather and the leaves, and we get to build a fire out back and roast marshmallows.
Oh yeah, bonfires.
Yeah, sit around and just enjoy the weather, enjoy the time, and it's just a great time of year.
It is. One of my favorite things. It's kind of weird, I guess, but to drive. I live out in the county, so driving home, you're on those county roads, trees on both sides. The leaves are changing. The leaves are falling onto the windshield as you're driving. Yeah. They're all over the road, blowing. Something about that. It's just so relaxing.
The best part of that is where you see a car going in front of you and the leaves are blowing behind them. And they're just kind of in the air.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes, I do.
It's just there's something about that. It's just
I don't know what it is. Cool. I don't know what it is. It's just air, but something about it's awesome.
And leaves.
And leaves.
Yeah.
But yeah, something about it. I don't know. I love fall. Sarah Beth Neely asks, "What is each of your favorite Bible verses and why?" And we'll do Justin last if he wants to participate in it, being on the spot. But go ahead, Garrett. What's yours?
Mine's really 2 verses because it kind of, the way that they broke it up, they kind of split the sentence. It's Romans 38 and 39.
Romans what, 38?
Romans 8, 38 and 39. Sorry. Yeah, it says, "For I am sure that neither death, nor life, nor angels, nor rulers, nor things present, nor things to come, nor powers, nor height, nor depth, nor anything else in all creation will be able to separate us from the love of God in Christ Jesus our Lord." I just really like that because, everything we go through in life, nothing can separate us, except for ourselves, obviously, can separate us from God through Jesus Christ. And I like all the detail that Paul goes into to explain that. He could have just said, nothing can separate you from Jesus Christ, but he goes into all that detail. Point. So I really like that one.
Well, oddly enough, mine's from Romans 8 as well. Mine's verse 18. "For I consider that the suffering of this present age are not worthy to be compared with the glory which shall be revealed in us." And I think it's just a beautiful thought, and it's written in a much, much more difficult time than we're living in. Things are uncertain with the election coming up. There's a lot of things to worry about if we choose to worry. And anyway, they were going through much more than that. They lived faithfully, and they got that glory revealed in them in the life to come. So it gives you hope, and it's a beautiful thought. What about you, Justin?
Yeah, that's probably the easiest question to be put on the spot with. I want to go with Psalms 139.
Psalm 139.
Yeah, and it's not just one verse; it's the whole chapter. The whole chapter just talks about how God knew you before you were born. He formed you in the womb, and
that's beautiful.
He knows everything about you even before you were even thought of, and that's just an awesome thought.
It is. That is beautiful. Amen. Let's see. The iTunes review that we did give, I want to give his username. We know who it is. I don't know. He's a friend of the show, so I'll probably just leave him anonymous. You can see him there on iTunes. But the title he gave was Fun, Clean Entertainment. He gave us 5 stars, so we really appreciate that. He said that it's a great podcast if you're looking for something to turn on while you work around the house or drive. Just the right mix of lighthearted fun and serious topics to make you think. So we really appreciate him giving us that sweet.
That's a good compliment.
Yeah, very good comment on there.
He's actually listened to him, unlike you.
I think he's listened to all of them.
Pardon me, I have listened to 4 of them.
No, we're just picking at you, buddy.
Actually, 5 now since I'm a part of this.
Oh, that's true.
I guess you have listened.
I've been listening the whole time.
Attaboy. No, but we really appreciate him doing that. And somebody that I actually didn't know very well at all, and have gotten to know him a little bit more, I guess, because he's really enjoyed the show. I really appreciate him just clicking on it. 2 guys he doesn't know all that well, just knows of, and gave us his time. So big shout out to him. Really appreciate it, buddy. So now it is time for the best advice in the world. This week's question is, what is the best way to study? And why don't you start, Garrett?
I think procrastination's always a good option.
I think it is too.
You've really got to make sure your mind's clear going into the test. So
you don't want the information to bog you down.
Right. You need to be focused, so you need to make sure that you're spending plenty of time on Facebook,
Right.
hanging out with friends, whatever, to procrastinate. And then the night before the test, you stay up and you cram. And you see what happens.
You cram as much in as possible. Do the best you can. Just don't worry about it. Just don't care.
What are we talking about?
Best way to study.
What is that?
Yeah.
So you never studied?
No, I don't. How do you spell that? What?
Study.
Can you give me the definition?
To prepare.
That's an interesting word. I've never heard that before.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, all right. Well, my advice to you, I'm in school, so right now, the only one of us that's in school, us three. So my best advice would be that if the teacher doesn't teach you the information in a way that you can remember without having to review it outside of school, he's not a very good teacher, so I wouldn't try. Pay attention in class option. If you care, and take the test. Then it should come back to you while you're in the same room. There is a study that says, I learned this in psychology. There's a study that indicates that if you say chew a piece of gum while you study, and then you chew that same piece of gum while you are taking the test, that the information will be easier for you to remember because you're in the same setting. So what I would say is chew gum in class.
That's like saying if you sleep on a pillow with a book underneath your head that your brain will absorb the knowledge.
It's a little bit more scientific than that, but that's a good option. Thirdly, lay with the book underneath your pillow at night. You'll remember everything. And that would be the best advice in the world. Well, Justin, we really want to thank you for joining us today on the show. You brought some really interesting information to the table, so I think a good episode, buddy.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, sir.
It was an honor and a privilege.
Yes, I'm glad that you were able to make it.
So thoroughly enjoyed it.
Now go back
I don't want to hear it, Garrett.
Go back and listen to the other episodes.
Sorry,
I'll tell you what, I'm
brutally honest.
I'm going to have to break these two up. We want to thank Katie for her excellent work writing and playing our music. She does a fantastic job, so big shout out to her.
Ooh, go Katie.
And we want to thank Kevin for his awesome help helping us record that song.
Does he even listen?
Yes, he does. He does listen to some of them.
Shout out to Kevin.
I don't know if he's listened to all of them or not, but I know he listened to the first one at least. So, big shout out to him. We want to thank Justin and Steven for their jokes. I think we're going with Justin this week, so it's either 3-2 or 4-2. We'll have to check that one. We want to thank our editors, Caleb and Corbin, for their help. And again this week, Joshua for joining us. Caleb is on a swing shift, so sometimes he can't join us and we can't work out the schedule. So Joshua is joining us while Corbin is out of town. So welcome to the team, Joshua, and we appreciate your help with that. Best of luck to Corbin. He's off in Arkansas. I texted him today. College is rough, and I couldn't imagine being alone in a place doing it. I would not enjoy that. So hang in there, Corbin, and we miss you, buddy. I personally want to thank Garrett for joining me today and doing this project with me, and Justin for all your help with it. And I want to thank you, the listener, for joining us today. You give us your ear to listen to us, and we really appreciate that and don't take that for granted. So share it with your friends, like us on Facebook, and follow us on Twitter if you care. And we'll see you next time. Remember to stay upside up, guys.
I'm gonna look puzzled the whole time just to throw you off.
I won't look at you. I'll look at Garrett the whole time.
I'll be like,
alrighty.
Make sure you don't delete Jeremy singing.
Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. We're back, guys. I'm your host, Jeremy, and we're joined
Hi.
as always.
This is Garrett.
That was Garrett. I don't know what I'm supposed to say to that. Can we cut and try that again? I'm in here. Don't know what to expect. Alright, I'm sorry.
Out of the zone.
I am out of the zone.
We never cut.
This is our 10th episode, guys. That's pretty exciting. We actually made it to 10.
fanfare.
Yeah. Trumpet fanfare.
It's the both worlds.
fucking slow. I'm sorry. We're gonna have to start over.